Government goes, right, okay, you got to pay some tax. Oh, God, yeah, got to pay some tax. And right, okay, how much? 200. And imagine if you actually physically had to take that £200 cash to where they wanted it spent. You're like, oh, okay, I've got my 200 quid. Where do you want it spent? This month you're going to be paying for Rishi Sunak's helicopter because he doesn't want to get the train up to Newcastle. What? Really? Isn't he like a multi-millionaire though? Can he not just chip in for that himself? No, you're going to pay for it. Right, I'm going to get straight to the point with this one. This story's really angered me. I hate these stories that come out where we expose the pure wastage of taxpayer money. Really angers me. And this story with Michelle Donelan, if you haven't heard, Michelle Donelan, some junior Tory minister, I'd never heard of her. I don't know whether you heard of her. Got herself in a bit of bother online on Twitter, claimed that a teacher was pro-Hamas. And they've sued her for libel. She's facing like 15 grand's worth of libel costs. Is she paying for that? Is that coming out of her pocket? No, the taxpayer. The taxpayer's paying for that. 15 grand. That's like my last 5 years worth of tax contributions that have all gone on Michelle Donelan's libel costs because she's an idiot and got herself into trouble on Twitter, her own personal Twitter account. Shocking. And this is why I am such an advocate for more transparency on where our tax money is being spent, because I don't think enough people know, and I don't think many people know about this story. The ones that have heard about it are probably not really that interested. I mean, Jeremy Hunt was questioned about this on TV the other day. He said, oh, well, you know, it's just common practice to pay ministers legal fees. No, it's common practice for the taxpayer to pay 15 grand for a Tory minister that wants to have a Twitter spat. Yeah, it's common practice. And this is half the problem. I think if people knew where their tax money was being spent, I think people would get a lot more angry about this. And we should be. Like, we should have a budget report at the end of the year of exactly where all our tax money is being spent. Like, I'm self-employed, so I'd also like, when I file my tax return at the end of the year, I want a breakdown of where my money has gone. Like, I don't know whether you guys ever give blood, right? When you give blood, you get like an email a week later saying, oh, your blood was used at Bristol City Hospital. You're like, oh, okay, great. I'd like the same thing when I pay my tax, when I do my tax return. I want an email a week later saying, oh, your money was spent here and here and here. There needs to be more transparency. And people, we're all oblivious to this. The British public should be up in arms. The fact that our tax money is going on legal fees for a Twitter fight. Why is there not more anger about this? And exactly that. People just don't know where their money's being spent. Imagine if you went back to like the old days where you get your pay packet. You get your cash in a pay packet. Imagine you get your cash and then government goes, right, okay, you got to pay some tax. Oh, God, yeah, got to pay some tax. And right, okay, how much? 200. And imagine if you actually physically had to take that £200 cash to where they wanted it spent. You're like, oh, okay, I've got my 200 quid. Where do you want it spent? This month you're going to be paying for Rishi Sunak's helicopter because he doesn't want to get the train up to Newcastle. What? Really? Isn't he like a multi-millionaire though? Can he not just chip in for that himself? No, you're going to pay for it. I'm going to front the bill for Rishi Sunak's helicopter. Are you serious? That's what my tax money's going on. Okay, what's it going on next month? Michelle Moan. It's going towards Michelle Moan because she's got a fake PPE contract, and you know, we're just going to give the money to her. Imagine if people physically knew. That's the thing. You kind of just, when you pay your tax, you're like, at the end of the month, it's like, oh god, look how much tax I'm paying this month. But you think, oh, but we need to pay for police to keep us safe. We need to pay for nurses to keep us healthy and stuff like that. You don't think, well, no, actually, your money is going on 32 billion on a weird, dodgy test and trace contract, or Michelle Moan, or Rishi Sunak's helicopter, or bloody libel fees for some junior Tory minister. It's just, people are not, it's not obvious where your tax money's going, isn't it? If we really saw, if we individually got a printout at the end of the year, right, this is where your tax money went. Imagine the whole city of Birmingham, right, the whole city of Birmingham, this year, all of your tax money, the entire city, every single citizen in Birmingham, all your tax money is going towards the 200 million for Michelle Moan's fake PPE business. That's where it's all going. All of you, every single one. You wouldn't do it, would you? You'd take to the streets. You'd say no. You'd say no. I am not. This month, I am not paying for Rishi Sunak's helicopter. I'm not doing it. And that's what I want. I want a full breakdown of exactly where my tax money's going. But, you know, it continues. Scandal and scandal, Tory scandal after Tory scandal comes out. And no wonder 100 Tory MPs are planning to leave the Tories at the next election. You've seen this? 100 Tory MPs want to wash their hands of the Tories. I mean, because they're Tory MPs, I'm kind of thinking that it's more a case they see a sinking ship and they don't want anything more to do with it, rather than any sort of moral question. You know, I've often said, whenever I see Tory MPs interviewed, whenever I see them on TV, Tory ministers, Tory MPs, whoever, I always have the same question. As soon as they open their mouth, I'm like, you have no integrity. To stay in this organisation that have done so much clear and obvious corruption. We just mentioned the wastage of taxpayers' money, but look at the state of this country. Every single aspect of this country is worse since the Tories have been in power. The insane amount of debt you left us, every aspect. How can you stay involved with this government, this political party, for another second? You should all quit. You should all quit. If you had one single shred of integrity, you would quit this organisation. But 100 of them are going, yeah, well, we'll do that, but we'll just keep our jobs to the next election. No, do it now. How can you stay with this organisation for another second? You have no integrity, and I have not a single shred of respect for any of you. People go, oh yeah, but my local Tory MP is actually quite good. No, you should quit. I would not want to be associated with this. Any other walk of life, if you worked for a business where the amount of sexual assault charges from these Tory MPs had gone on, the amount of wastages and the amount of taxpayers' money, you'd leave and you'd find another job. That's what these people should do, not wait till the next election. But it's an interesting question, actually. I wonder if any of you guys that are, you know, I like my audience, my people that view my videos, you're all intelligent folks. Maybe you've got an answer for this question. What would actually happen if those 100 MPs, Tory MPs, quit, and there was 100 by-elections, and those 100 by-elections were won by Labour, and the pendulum swings to the Labour majority? Would Keir Starmer be able to form a government even though there's not an official general election? Or would the Tories have to keep ruling? Sunak would still be Prime Minister, but on a very minority government? It's an interesting question, isn't it? Or would it trigger I don't know, maybe I should send that question into Rory Stewart and Alistair Campbell or something. But I mentioned in a previous video, it seems like the Tories just constantly chipping away at their MPs anyway. We seem to get a by-election every month. Eventually, the pendulum will swing and Labour will have the majority of MPs just through by-elections. But yeah, it's an interesting conversation. Anyway, that's where I'll leave the video. Please give me your thoughts, guys. Like I say, this wastage of taxpayer money is the one that really angers. And when the British public hear about these things, they do get angered by it. You know, you remember the expenses scandals and stuff like that. That's another one that your tax money is going towards, actually. You pay 1 month, you pay for Sunak's helicopter. The next goes a little bit for Michelle Moan. Third month, you're paying for that Tory MP that has a second house in London, mortgage. But then he actually rents it out when he's not in there to get profit. He doesn't give any of that back to the taxpayer. Oh God, anyway, I could go on and on. But people do get angry about it. This is the point I'm making. When people actually hear about it, there needs to be more transparency with taxation, because people just don't hear enough about this absolute disgusting wastage of our money, of our hard-earned money. Disgusting. Till next time, if you like the video, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top, and there'll be another video, you can check that out. See you soon. Till next time.